Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done a video, but here we are back with the second of our FanSets badge reviews. The guys have outdone themselves, to be honest, and they've sent me an absolute truckload of their latest additions to the range. We've got a couple of figure ones, so we've got Maress from the animated series and we've got McCoy over here. This is not everything that you kind of see that we've got in the range that they've sent me. So as I'm going to go through them, you'll see these new ones kind of appear. So I'm going to keep the two figures to the end, but this will be a complete unbagging as we're going through. So I'm going to start with this one. So we've got the NX class Enterprise NX01. These are, again, a really sort of weighty design, really well thought through, very, certainly very heavy. All have that single pin on the back that we've seen, but this is just a really good replica. So you've got the ship registry on there, deflector-ish, all this kind of hull paneling they've got in there. The detail on the ships is fantastic. You've got really good clear detail there on the warp nacelles. So you've got the Bussard collectors and all the venting down the side. You've got good clear detail of the bridge, excellent clear detail. You've got the registry on there, Enterprise on the front. All this kind of edging, the detail and attention to detail that's gone into creating these badges is superb. And they're a good, they're a good size as well. Certainly adult collector, as it says on there. As a friend of mine commented, what about the kids? These definitely not for kids, definitely for your bags. And it's great if you can show sort of FanSets where you are wearing these as well, because I know they'd love to see what people are using them for and where they're going. So that's the NX class, really nice. Even got those sort of hatches that it's got on the hull, just notice those. Very clear detail, really nice first piece that we've got to open there. Next, we've got the Galileo shuttlecraft. So from the original series, just pop this one open. Again, we've got the packaging as we had with the first wave, where it's all with the 50th anniversary. We've got the FanSets logo on there. And on the front again, FanSets logo with the 50th anniversary. Just a little bit different from the character ones we had in the first video review, because these are again a lot bigger, a lot sort of heavier items, as we've already said. So again, it's got that single pin to the rear, just pops off. Again, cracking reproduction of the Galileo on there with the registry NCC 1701. I am thinking there is a little thing missing off there, which is the /5 or /7 as it was in the original series for the shuttle, but otherwise absolutely spot on. You've got the Enterprise and the shuttle name etched across the bottom here, the Delta shield, and that kind of triangular background indicating the sort of that sensor grid system that was on the navigation console in the shuttle and in the Enterprise itself. You've got your little warp nacelles and the pennant, which is on the Starfleet pennant down the side. So a really nice replica on there. You've got the Galileo on the front and the Galileo on the side. Pretty spot on as it comes to the style of it as well. Nice unusual shape, being triangular. It's one of the more unusual ones in the set. And on the back you've got that FanSets logo just etched in the back in there. Just pop that back on the card, just because I like to know where they all are. Pop that on there. Good secure pin as well, so that's not going anywhere once you've lined it up and clicked it. I'm saying I've got a couple of the character ones on my bag at the moment that I use for work, and you know what, it stayed on there for the last few weeks, so I can't complain. Actually, we're going to hold that one because I'm going to stay with the classic look and go with this one, which is your Constitution class Enterprise original series. Pop this one open. Really nice. Again, it's keeping with that Galileo style. It's got the Delta shield on there, as you'll see. So you've got the Delta shield on here, and again just here on the side. So it's kept with that same kind of style. The font is again the same between the two badges. Just bring them so you can see them a little bit closer. On here, great to see they've got that sort of triple lined pennant down the side. Markings on the warp nacelles and the Bussard collected in red. And that sort of dual colour they've used just for the shadowing effect, that sort of darker grey under the hull and on the neck, and that lighter grey they've got around the main body of the ship. Again, USS Enterprise NCC 1701 Constitution class across the top. Just lovely to see the detail they've put in the hull here. You've still got those line markings as well that you'll be familiar with the model from the series. And also even down to the little venting details that you put on the engines there. I don't know if I can get in any closer on that. There you go. You can see they've even got the venting details on the inside edge of the nacelle and the curved nacelle line at the back, which is just wonderful that they've managed to do that. Really nice detail around the deflector dish at the front and the sensor dome underneath the saucer. It's a really nice replica. That's a better angle to get it at. There you go. I haven't got quite the evening sunlight shining on it there. Planets in the background as well. So very, very nice design from the Constitution class Enterprise. Just give it that flick across. You can see all the hull lines are actually embossed. So they are raised up against the background of the badge, as you can see when I just hold it through the light. So it is a beautiful piece to look at. Really good solid thickness as well, as you can see from that. They are a decent width. So there's no kind of, this is not a budget piece at all. This is absolutely top quality, and I really do thank FanSets for sending them across to me. Staying with the original series, we'll go with the Romulan Bird of Prey. You may remember from the first set that we did have the Klingon D7 cruiser. So that was from the original series. So that's the only one I've not covered in this one. So if you do go back to the original review, which I will post alongside this one, you'll be able to see that. Here we have the classic Romulan Bird of Prey from the episode Balance of Terror, with that wonderful bird design that FanSets have reproduced across the bottom of this, and all the sort of feathered plumage that you've got on the bird is reproduced here as well, really accurately. Just a beautiful way of doing it. With the tail feathers, you've got the claws on there as well, the beak, and that sort of dotted sort of porthole / deflector grid effect that's around the edge of the ship there. Just beautiful to see. Nicely done on the warp nacelles, in the colours you'd expect it, in that sort of grey. So it's a darker grey underneath. I like how they've done with the shading on these sort of darker, lighter greys rather than kind of going all out for the blacks for the underside. But that's just really giving it that sort of two-tone effect. It also managed to lift that bird off very nicely against the rest of the ship that you've got there. Again, headed off with Romulan Bird of Prey. Really nice, clear font on there. If I just hold that just against the light, you can just see the detail on that. So it's a really, really nice piece again. Good size on that one. If you hold it against the figures, if you have the figures already, you'll see how big it is. It is sort of the same kind of height as the figures you've got from FanSets, which are all the same height on those. Nice hexagonal design, keeping them all different. Each one of them really has a unique identity as well. So each of the badges is different from one to the other. As you'll have seen, there are a couple under here you wouldn't have seen already. So we'll move on to the Excelsior class. Now, a few of these people might sort of go, oh, Excelsior class, USS Excelsior, but it's not. What FanSets have done here is you've got Excelsior class, but with a little bit of a twist. So actually here, we've got Excelsior class, USS Enterprise 1701B. So this time you've got the movie emblem across the bottom, with the movie pennant and the movie background on there. But if you'll note, they've also got on there the 2 additional impulse engines, which are on the saucer section, as opposed to the Excelsior, which just has this single block at the back. So a good reproduction on there. Just, I guess, because of the size, they've only got NCC 1701B on the hull. No sign of the sort of USS Enterprise label on there, but they have got the little bit of detailing that goes around that bridge unit, which is quite distinctive on the Excelsior class starships. So that's really nice to see. Not too sure about these red lines, but it does help sort of enhance the colour of the saucer. You've even got the detail of the RCS thrusters just around the sides of the saucer there as well, which is really nice. Not sure if you can see any, well, the detail on the underhull is a little bit plainer. You can't really see that sort of flaring effect that you got with the Excelsior variant they use for generations and for the Lakota. But you have got the kind of finning, and I do believe there should be a little bit of extra detail on these warp engines actually for the Excelsior variant. But I have to say, it's still cracking detail. Not too sure about the old windows on the back there, just around here. Not sure if that was an accurate detail, but you know what, on the whole, really nice again. I like it how they're putting these kind of planety backgrounds in and keeping each of these ships to kind of have its own design. If you look at the 3 starships though from the Federation, they've all, bring back the NX class, they've all got that kind of circular effect, and that does actually carry on through all the Federation ships, apart from the Galileo shuttle, strangely enough. Okay, so that's your Excelsior class. Really nice piece again. Pop that one over there. Let's move on to Next Generation. In that case, we bring ourselves to the Enterprise D. A little bit smaller card with this one. but that doesn't mean that the quality is reduced at all, because again, FanSets have brought us a really good piece here. This time with the next gen communicator pin with the sort of oval background and the delta shell across the top, and this time with the right across the bottom. So you've got the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D Galaxy class. A little bit smaller on the ship size on this one, but it's still got the same level of detail. That shadowing effect that they've got in there, a little bit more black on the colouring. Even got the sort of 3 different size shuttle bays. Some indication of the sort of hull linings on the secondary and on the primary hull, and that phaser strip that goes all the way around the saucer there as well. Quite well pointed out and well detailed. Got the phaser strips at the back, towards the back here. The impulse engine we've got, and the impulse engines on the saucer. So all the kind of major features of the Galaxy class, and that kind of unique shape, that big oval saucer. Smaller secondary hull and the sort of lowered warp nacelles that we got from the Galaxy class are all prominently featured here in this design. Unusually from the back, whereas the others have kind of been from the front. Where this one we've actually got a sort of more rear view, the Enterprise D, which is a little bit unusual. And I like the fact that they've done something different on each of these. There's not every single one is the same view. It's not every one from the side. We have got kind of different angles that they've played with, so we get a different perspective on each of the ships. Good idea. Good that they've thought of that. Borg cube. Hexagonal design again, so similar to the one we had on the Romulan Bird of Prey. Unusual sort of cubic design, of course, for the Borg cube. Got the Borg logo in green. Oh, I'm thinking it was mostly seen in red, and I think only seen in red in a few episodes. So we've got the Borg Collective, Borg cube with sort of green highlights across it as well. It's really good to actually try and just get this into the light, because you can see all the embossed detail of all that kind of grid and circuitry effect that we had on the cubes. So you can really see the finishing effect on this is a lot better than you kind of see in the plain black. I think if you lay it that way, you kind of just get a cube effect with some silver over it. But I think when you kind of tilt it into the light, this gives a much better indication of the detail that you've got on the surface of that Borg cube. Again, good weight, single clip as they all are. A beautiful little pin. Not sure if this is one of my favourites. I think there are a couple that I'm going to come to in a second, which are probably the cream of the crop. And I've got to say the NX-01 badge is an absolute stunner. And he's particularly one of the best ones in here. But again, just nice to see that you recognise the Borg. We've kind of got all the major factions represented within the set that FanSets have brought out so far, and I really can't fault them. The work is absolutely second to none. So we'll come to Deep Space Nine. I think, because we've only got a couple of these left, and a couple of the character badges just to cover off as well. So just to cover off, these are well worth spending a lot more time on, but with the video at least you can get a good look at the badges, so that when you do order them, as of course you will, you know exactly which ones you want. So Deep Space Nine, my favourite series, and I've got to say I just love these. This one and the Defiant one, which we'll come to in a second. Really nice replica of the station, clearly defining those docking ports. I'm just thinking that the docking ring looks a little bit thin, but you know what, I can forgive that. It just looks really, really cool. You've got the first contact Deep Space Nine Voyager pin here with that sort of oblong bar at the back. You've got the wormhole inset against the back of the station, and all the detail, all the layers, the inner docking ring, all the layers up to the op center at the top, and the 3 massive pylons that kind of made that distinctive Cardassian station shape. Interestingly, it's got this kind of oval badge design, so it kind of sits somewhere between being a bit Federation but not quite being a bit Federation, because of it wasn't a Federation station originally, but it's nice that they've kind of brought that in. Whether that was on purpose or not, I'm not sure. We have Bajor Sector across the bottom and Deep Space Nine just across the top, so it fits really nicely in there. Loving the fact that they've even managed to get some of the really clever little pylon detail into the edges here, and just the whole kind of shape of the station is just really well produced. And I've got to say, it's one of my favourites. I can forgive perhaps a little couple of bits on these kind of pylons at the end, but just looks so nice. The detail, we've got all the little sort of additional struts and the weapons pieces that you can see popping out here and there around the rear. It just works so well on this piece, and definitely one I would suggest getting hold of. However, my absolute favourite of the set, and I know I'm going to come to this before I actually come to the last one, because I've done these in kind of time sequence rather than anything, is Defiant. This is absolutely, without a question, my favourite one of the entire range that they've provided for us to have a look at so far. And I think I was, when I said that they were sending some, I said, were you going to send Defiant? And this is just beautiful. I've got to say, hats off, guys. The detail on this one is just absolutely perfect. The amount of detail on the hull, the registry on the front, just the detail around the bridge, around the warp engines, the barring on the Bassard collectors, just around the thrusters and the phaser arrays, just even the colour down to putting that little bit on there just to indicate that you've got the delta symbol. The fact that you can see the name registry around there, it's just beautiful in every possible way. You've got the com badge emblem again, as we've got with the DS9 station. I've got to say, just look at the detail level on this Defiant class, USS Defiant NX 74205. Just top quality. If they don't sell out of these, of the Defiant ones, I'll be very, very surprised. This is beautiful in just any light. Just the amount of colour on there, the shading, just the design as well. Again, with that sort of circular badge edge that is reflective of the Federation ships. I could just look at this one all day because it is absolutely perfect, and I absolutely applaud them for the quality they've produced with this one. So definitely get your hands on this one as soon as possible, because it will sell out. And finally, on the ships, this one. So you'll have seen that it is already the USS Voyager, oddly enough, from Voyager. And it kind of goes alongside the Defiant. The detail is great. The shading on here is a bit different to the other ones as well. It's gone for sort of, it's a slight, almost a greeny shade, I think, for the sort of shading. A greeny grey. But the detail, again, is fantastic. You've got all the little details. You've even got the aero shuttle under there, the windows across the bottom of the hull, the registry you can just see around there, the deflector dish, even down to the panelling within the deflector dish, which is flipping accurate. The phaser lines that are going around the hull, the lines of the detail of the panelling, the RCS thrusters, again, that edging circuitry that you could see, which was exposed on there, the phaser array under the hull, some of the detailing of the pennants just above my finger there, and against your warp engines. Just, again, a really nice piece, which just shows off all the detail that these guys have put in to every single one of these pins. And it does look like a labour of love. Just the amount of just paneling accuracy that you're getting on these is brilliant. And I just know everybody will want to get a hold of these pins. Again, here we've got the Intrepid class USS Voyager NCC 74656 just across there as well, just to, in case you were wondering what it was. I'm sure you'd worked that one out by now. And the com pin as well. So really nice piece. We were also sent 2 of the character badges. Just do these just to round this this a little bit longer review off. So you may remember we had Mirror Spot last time. We had the Gorn, we had 7 and 9, we had Cisco, and we had a Borg. So this time out we've been sent McCoy, looking extremely extremely grumpy. Lieutenant Commander Stripes on there, the little Sciences emblem on his badge. The accuracy on that is wonderful, and even got his little sort of grumpy face, so you immediately know that it's Dr. McCoy in there. The accuracy on the uniform, wonderful. Got the little bell bottoms on there, the blue Science uniform with that distinctive black little collar. Just a really nice little replica of McCoy. Not, I would say, particularly one of my favourite sort of crew, but as a little pin, you've got to say it's a really nice one, and as good as any of the other ones, which are already absolutely phenomenal. And finally, a little bit unusual, not one that you would kind of have expected to see in this range, and I didn't expect them to be doing these. And this final one is actually from the animated series. So this is Maress, who was a character just purely for the animated series, and she was a Cation. So it's really cool that they've actually done a few from other bits of the franchise that you might not necessarily see. I think this will be a really popular one because we don't see a lot of animated series merchandise. I'm looking forward to introducing my son to the animated series. We'll see what he thinks of that when we're doing the rewatch. But there you go. Just to round it off, really like how they've done all the sort of hairlines and the sort of the main effect on the occasion, and you've even got this sort of slit effect, sort of cat eyes in there as well, and a badge which has the support services little backwards 9 on it, and the little red dress that we've got on there for her, and a tail. So it is, again, totally accurate. Cannot say anything more about these. I mean, they really are top line, and I'll just kind of bring them back in one at a time so you can kind of see them as I bring back in. So Intrepid and Defiant. There we go. And Deep Space Nine. And Dr. McCoy, because I forgot to bring him in. Pop him in there. And the Galileo shuttle. There we go. And the Borg cube. There we go. And the Enterprise. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And another Enterprise. There we go. Let's bring that in for a final look on that one. I would absolutely recommend that you get yourselves across to the FanSets site. Get on there. Get ordering which ones you want. If these are not hard to come by very, very shortly, I'll be surprised. But that's it from us. There will be a written review going alongside this as well, if it's not up already. And I will talk to you soon. But guys, FanSets, absolutely a must. Get yourselves onto their site. Find a badge that you want. Order it and get it sorted. Because I'm sure these will be selling out very soon. We will see you again very shortly with another SCOST review. What it will be on, I'm not really sure. But until then, check on the sites. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Pass it on, share it, and we will see you soon.
Transfer complete.